Is it the lack of serenity? Is it because of the burnout, the compassion fatigue? What exactly creates that number? We were concerned here at Emory St. Joseph's. I know there's a glitch there in the system, but our UPC, which is our Unit Practice Council, they noted that shift fatigue, moral distress, emotional distress, lack of support where people felt burnout and compassion fatigue. And they felt like people had these overwhelming caseloads, and they wanted to find a way that they could help individuals find that soothing space, that calm that they had mentioned earlier. Was it possible? And so what we did was we asked questions. That's what nurses do. We asked questions. We asked before and after, we said, let's do a test of change to see how people respond. And so we asked, do you feel that help and support are easily assessed after personal or work-related crisis, pre and post intervention? As you can see here, for those who definitely agreed that it was available, it's less than 40%, but yet you have great up to 60% afterwards. So what we did was we introduced a program that is known as Code Lavender. And we wanted to see after 30 days on one floor in just one unit bedside, if it was used or not used, how often it was used in those 30 days. There were those who did not use it, as you can see here, but we also had people who used it once, and then there were more who used it 3 or more times within that 30-day time frame. So more than 50% of the nursing unit and staff on the 5th floor actually used our Code Lavender modalities, which I will go into in just a moment. Because it was a new test of change for us, we decided to start with the simple things. What are the things that we can really promote initially? Self-care, self-comfort, and self-compassion. Those were things that we would not necessarily have to have additional funding for or anything like that. So we looked at self-care, that active process of making your body and mind a pleasant place to inhabit, filling your own cup first. And that would ensure that you would have enough that you could give to others, creating that peaceful mind space. So we had moments of self-care, which you can see here. There were several things that were used. And then we looked at self-comfort. Now, you guys, you probably all are familiar with things like comfort food and pet therapy, but let's look at these simple things right here. Too often, we underestimate the power of a touch or a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest accomplishment, or the smallest act of caring, which can turn a life around. So if you were in the midst of feeling a little burnout or being overwhelmed, wow, if someone walks up and they smile, or if you can share your feelings and have that listening ear, what a difference that can make. That can create that type of serenity that we were talking about, that support. And then, of course, there was self compassion, being more mindful, exercising self kindness, and more importantly, recognizing that we're human. And so we all make mistakes. So, therefore, offering a little grace to ourselves personally, allowing for those errors and allowing to be kind to ourselves as well. After that, we had a situation. I don't know how many of you all are familiar with. You can, if you want to show your faces on camera, you can. But how many are actually familiar with, by a show of hands, Code Lavender? Is anyone familiar with Schwartz rounds? Well, let me just say that we have something called Schwartz Rounds here. It's an opportunity where you can speak and share how you feel, things that have happened, and it's a very safe space. And during that time, we had a new nurse who shared that she had her first patient to pass. This patient had died, and here we were many months later, almost a year later, and she was still dreaming of this person, waking up in the middle of the night and seeing their eyes. And her reason that she gave was because she did not have an opportunity to process the death and to go through a full debriefing and after the patient coded. And so we said, what can we do? What's already out there? What can we drive as a test of change within our hospital system so that we can see which modalities would work for us? And that's where Code Lavender came in. It is a holistic rapid response tool that's designed for traumatic events, and it meets a person actually at wherever they are in terms of their need, and it helps to promote self-care. Anyone can call a Code Lavender. It can be your charge nurse, it can be your team. You can call it individually, but it is available to anyone at their time of need. And more importantly, it can cover not just events that occur in the hospital, but it can provide a little solace for whenever there's a traumatic event that occurs outside of the hospital as well. How do you do it? Like I said, several modalities: step away, pastoral care, EAP, Tea for the Soul, even using something like this, a compassion cup. And you say, well, what's in there? How do you do that? And what we did was we just had little lavender cups that people could take, pick up, grab a cup, fill it up. You could put a stress ball inside. You could add a simple candle. You could put a card, or even something as simple as stress tea. And that says just that, stress relief. If you know the person, you can add other little extra touches. But those were the type of therapeutic modalities that we initiated. Again, we said, don't just be good to others, but be good to yourself. So we added these together. We started in July 2021, and we added cumulatively all the percentages of each thing that we offered. Every month we would introduce a different modality. So whether it was massage chair, Tea for the Soul, pet therapy, music therapy, art therapy, plant therapy, which is bringing in a horticulturalist to actually provide a therapeutic activity. 3GT, also known as Three Good Things, out of Duke University, having an embrace peer support where we work together with each other to support one another. And then FICA, aromatherapy. All of these we looked at. We started in July. We checked again in March of 2022. From 223%, we moved up to 380%. And then in 2023, we were at 395% usage. And so with that being said, obviously it was being used more and more and more because we were adding the numbers together. We wanted to see what were our top 5. What were the things that people most likely would want to have after the fact? So in moving forward, we had some of the pictures like you saw. They wanted Happy Tales, our pet therapy program. They wanted to step away and breathe, whether it was going to be in the Serenity Room or someplace else. And then for those who did not have a space they could go to, we created something called CBD. And not as you may be thinking, but it stood for Cabinet, Box, and Drawer. And so what we would do is we would take something like a simple box, and then we would fill the box with things that were important to us that might provide a little bit of comfort. It could be something as simple as a rock, like this one that says healing, or it could be something as simple as a pen that reminds them of friends and family, something that someone had given them. It may have gum in it. It may have, some type of candy that you prefer, or an aromatherapy, or even a candle. You never know, but you fill it with things that are important to you so that afterwards, if you should have a stressful event and you cannot step away, or you do not have the ability to do so, then you have those personal things for you that you can keep in your drawer, in your cabinet, at your workstation or unit area. Again, that shows you the cabinet. In our cabinet, we also had a perpetual journal. We kept cards in there. We kept the cups refreshed from stress, which was another type of journal that they could have individual journals. We had teas and waters and all types of things, but just the reminder, be kind, be thoughtful, but most of all, be thankful. We did adult coloring. We had a sound machine, different types of modalities that could be individualized to the person. But I wanted to know in the chat if you can show how many people are familiar with the Fika. Now, oh, good. There's someone familiar with Fika. I know we have used Fika for over several years now. And
Excuse me, madam, just I don't find your the presentation on the screen.
you don't see it on the screen?
Yes.
It's under the share. I mean, I'm sharing, no one sees it. Is that
No,
correct?
just we have got around 5 to 6 slides. Then afterwards it has been displayed.
So you want me to stop share?
No, no, you need to start sharing.
Okay, I'm gonna restart and see if it pops up and see if you see it now. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure why it was missing, but this is Fika.
Okay.
And you get to work out all the technical glitches with all of my slides. So that works out really well. But this is fika. Fika is a Swedish custom. And in the fika, what they do is you have something hot, something sweet, something cold, something savory, and good conversation. And it's an opportunity to enhance your well-being, build relationships with the people that you work with, become a little more engaged. And during that time frame, you restore a balance and serenity, and you improve workplace dynamics, and it promotes a little more productivity. We often would have like sweets and things available as well as our coffees and whatnot. But it was a very rewarding experience, and so rewarding, so much so that our doctors decided that they wanted to institute this every month. And in some units outside of our specific location here at St. Joseph's at Johns Creek, they actually do it every week. So it was very popular. I will ask before I move forward if you can see the next screen. Can you see that one now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this final phase is the journey to serenity, wanting to let you know what we did in 5 steps. After we had practiced and gone through the test of change and figured out that people wanted to have their own personal serenity room, we got all our information together, gathered our data, and then we went to our leadership, explained what we wanted to do, applied for a micro grant here, and we were awarded the grant. We got supplies and everything for the space, and then we started measuring how was it impacting the staff. Was it a positive use of money? Was it something that we would want to do again and again? Because we were very fortunate in that we had students that were using it. We had our heart failure, our nursing services, urology team, because they were on the same floor with cardiology, our cardiac imaging, and our heart and vascular admin and clinical teams. So there were several who were able to actually access it, not just in our nursing staff, but it was primarily nursing, but not just nursing. Okay. And so with that being said, we had our first Code Lavender Serenity Room, which was a multi-sensory healing space designed to reduce stress and help people to recharge, energize, and increase their relaxed emotional well-being so that they could produce and be more productive on the floor in the clinic and at bedside. And speaking of the actual impact, we asked some of our nurses initially if they ever used the Serenity Room. That was after the first month that it was up, and we got a yes. And not only those who said yes, they also said yes to the fact that they felt better afterwards. So that gave us a little bit of positive feedback. But then we moved forward and we looked at the numerical values after people would use the QR code and going in and out, and just to see how they were feeling. So they come in, average was 5.72. They would leave out with an average of 8.87. And so one of the things in the room you probably noticed on the picture was a board. And on that board, you can see several words. This was to reflect our wellness mood. And so with that, you can see someone said, great, happy, ready, positive, joy, relieved, energized, alert. I mean, every word that you notice on here is a positive word. And it just let us know how people were feeling afterwards. And that let us know that we had made a good decision. So we decided to take this and create a puzzle with the words that were made there. And so when they have the next anniversary, they're going to, at that celebration, present the puzzle with the words. But let's take a look at the quantitative side over here, right here. After review initially of 69 responses, we noticed an improved mood of 97%. Then at 90 responses, improved mood of 98%. We are now at the 99% since the time that the slides were created, because we now have over 100 responses with an improvement rate of 99%, which was really exciting. I don't want to go over, and I know that I'm getting very close. I had hoped to go through some of this 5 breathing techniques, but if you want to take a quick snapshot of that YouTube channel, that particular slide, you can actually go there and do the breathing technique. It's an easy way to kind of calm yourself if you ever are feeling overwhelmed and anxious, and to find that space, that serene serenity space. It's basically following your hand. You'll see it. You're breathing in and you're breathing out, and in and out, but it's going much slower, obviously. And then you're going to breathe in, and then your last breath out is much slower, and you go down the side of the hand, and you'll be able to do that. But some of the other ideas and things that you can do is have a healthy snack, go outside, take a walk, light an aromatherapy candle, or call a friend, or turn off your phone for that matter. Listen to meditation, watch yoga, take a yoga break, read a book. Several things you can do to just bring back that sense of serenity for yourself. Something we have here, Healthy Nurse, Healthy Nation, just reminded us in their research was showing that spending time in nature even helps to lower stress and anxiety and depression, and it improves your mood. One of the extra things that we did through Embrace and the MWIP program here at Emory was we introduced and we looked at the use of stress first aid tool. We initially started out with MWell and having a peer support group called Embrace. And somewhere during that time frame, we recognized that sometimes you can have a higher level of trauma, and we wanted something that could match the need. And this particular tool, the stress first aid, actually is a major tool. And currently, we are accepting volunteers for training as stress first aid wellness coaches. And they will be champions, wellness champions for the project. And it's a way that you can identify for yourself and or others where you are. Are you feeling green? Are you in the yellow, the orange, the red? And it's just a way of identifying how you can best find that space of resilience, find that space of serenity, find that place of well-being mentally. Before I go, if you probably remember that I brought up the fact that it was important, we were saying that you not only care for others, but that you care for yourselves, but you care for each other also. And many of you probably have seen this letter because it came out 2 years ago. And it was a letter to my abuser. It was written by this young lady, was a new nurse. Her name was Tristan Kate Smith. She was a young nurse, and she had been dealing with depression for several years, but it really took a turn during COVID. And research actually shows that female nurses have the I guess you said the numerical value that they commit suicide more than twice the rate of females in the general population. So, what Tristan did was she wrote this letter to her abuser, which was the healthcare system. And of course, for many of us that are in healthcare systems, it's kind of a very sad situation. She had several statements that she made, but I think the one that really touched my heart, she said that each day you ask me to do more with less. You beat me to the point that my body and mind are black, bruised, and bleeding out. If I stay, I will lose my sanity and possibly my life forever. I think she stayed until she could stay no longer. So, all that I ask of you is that you really think twice about how much you put in and making sure that as you're putting in for others and caring for others, because of the compassion that we are known for, nurses are known to be the most compassionate and trustworthy profession out there. So, take care of yourself, be compassionate to you as well. And I end my slideshow here with my favorite. I happen to love the panda bears. And the panda actual symbolizes peace, balance, gentleness, and inner strength. Spiritually, they say that it reminds us to stay calm and grounded and patient while embracing life with a soft and resilient heart. So keep in mind and remember that true strength doesn't always require aggression, but it can be found in inner fortitude. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the session. I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody. And I'm sorry for all the glitches earlier, what you missed. If you tell me, I'm more than happy to go back later.
Yes. So this was the presentation from Dr. Catherine Moore. Any questions regarding this topic? Any questions? If you have any kind of questions or queries regarding this topic, just you can text us. We'll be asking you on behalf of you, even after the completion of the Congress. Hmm. Thank you so much, madam. I think there is no
Thank you.
questions.
Thank you.
Yes. So you'll be getting the participation certificate within a couple of days and the booklet as well. And hope we expect your presence next year in person. Yesterday we had a lot of speakers. Day before yesterday we had a lot of speakers in person in Tokyo, Japan. Thank you
Mm.
so much. We'll go with next speaker. So just let me know if you are anybody else interested to start presenting. You can go ahead. If anybody else interested, just you can start going. Hi everybody once again. And if anybody are interested, those who present, you can ready with your PowerPoint present and start presenting. I send I text them the names those who are joining as speakers for today's conference. If you are ready with your PowerPoint presentation, you can start sharing. I can see Dr. Christina Vadrang is unable to join from USA. Dr. Margaret is no answering. And we go with Japan timings. Dr. Asuka Ashino from Kumato University from Japan.
Hello, is anyone there?
I'm beginning.
Yes, yes.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm here to present a review on enhancing learning and autonomous learning ability in nursing students through diverse interventions. My name is Ren Yuanyu, and I'm a second-year master student in nursing at Zhengzhou University, China. Nursing students need robust learning and autonomous ability to excel in their future career. Unfortunately, current nursing education often encounter challenges such as low student engagement and insufficient autonomous learning skills. These issues not only affect the students' academic performance, but also their readiness for the professional challenges of modern healthcare. Therefore, it's essential to explore and implement effective interactions that can enhance this critical ability. Learning abilities encompass four important aspects: memory, observation, thinking, and imagination. Autonomous learning ability includes setting learning goals, determining learning content, using learning methods, monitor learning progress and status, and evaluating learning effects. The primary objective of this review are threefold. First, we aim to summarize the interventions that enhance learning and autonomous learning ability in nursing students. Second, we will categorize these interventions into main types to better understand their applications. Finally, we will highlight effective strategies and suggest future research direction to optimize nursing education. The interventions we reviewed can be broadly classified into four main types: student-centered teaching method, technology-assisted teaching method, psychologically supported teaching method, and practical-oriented teaching interventions. Each of these categories includes specific strategies that have been shown to be effective in enhancing learning and autonomous learning abilities. Student-centered teaching method implies active student participation and peer collaborations. The flipped classroom is a teaching method where students learn the material before class through videos and readings and then engaging in interactive activities during class time. This approach has been shown to increase students' engagement and improve learning outcomes. For example, in nursing education, students can review lecture materials before class and then participate in hands-on simulation or discussion in class. This method allowed for more personalized learning and better preparation for clinical practice. Problem-based learning is a student-centered approach where students learn through solving real-world problems. This method encourages students to work in groups, fostering collaboration and critical thinking. This education PBL can involve seniors where students must diagnose and treat patients based on case students. This approach not only enhances their problem-solving skills, but also prepares them for the complexity of clinical practice. Spaced learning involves using real and simulated patient case to teaching nursing concepts. This method helps students apply theoretical knowledge to practical simulations, enhancing their problem-solving and clinical reasoning skills. For example, students might analyze a case study of a patient with specific conditions and discussing potential treatments and care plans. This approach prepares students for the clinical environment by bridging the gap between theory and practice. Cooperative learning involves the students working together in small groups to achieve common learning goals. This method promotes teammate communication and peer support, which are essential skills in nursing. For example, students might work in groups to complete a project or patient care plans to practice clinical skills. This approach not only enhances their teamwork skills, but also fosters a supportive learning environment. Technology-assisted teaching methods leverage digital tools to provide a flexible and immersive learning experience. Blended learning combines traditional face-to-face classroom instruction with online learning components. This approach offers flexibility, allowing students to learn at their own pace, while still benefit from in-class interactions. For example, nursing students might complete an online module on patient care technique and then practice these skills in a clean level setting. This method enhances learning experience by providing a mix of theoretical and practical education. Virtual reality creates the immersive and realistic learning environment that simulate clinical scenarios. This technology allows students to practice skills in a safe and controlled environment, enhancing their confidence and competence. For example, nursing students can use VR to practice patient assessment, emergent procedure, or complex nursing technique. Method provides a high engagement and effective learning experience. Network teaching platforms such as WeChat and learning apps, facilitating resource share and collaboration among students and instructors. This platform provides access to a wide range of education materials, discussion forums, and interactive activities. For example, nursing students can use their platform to access lecture notes, participate in online discussions, and collaborate on group projects. This method enhances learning by providing a flexible and interactive education environment. Psychological supported teaching method focuses on improving student self-management and motivations. Mindfulness training involves teaching students technical to stay present and focused, reducing stress and anxiety. In nursing education, this can include meditation sections, breathing exercise, or guiding imagery. This practice helps students manage the pressure of their academic and clinical responsibility, leading to improved focus and reduced stress levels. Coaching techniques involve providing students with personalized guide and support to improve their self-management and motivation. This can include one-on-one coaching section, group section exercise, and feedback mechanism. Nursing education coaching technique can help students stay motivated, manage their time effectively, and achieve their academic and professional goals. Practical teaching intervention aim to enhance clinical skills and autonomous learning through practical application. Learning goals involve students recording their learning experience, reflections, and plans to future learning. This method helps students become more aware of their learning process and identify areas for improvement. Nursing education learning logs can be used to document clinical impairments, reflect on patient interactions, and plan for skill development. This practice enhances self-reflection and planning learning to improve the learning outcomes. A mini clinical evaluation exercise is a practical assessment course used to evaluate student clinical skills in real time. This method involves observing students drawing patient interactions and providing immediate feedback. In nursing education, mini CX can be used to assess skills such as patient assessment, communication, and clinical decision-making. This approach enhances students' clinical skills and self-environmental ability, preparing them for professional practice. CDIO teaching model concept, design, implement, operate, integrate theory with practical applications, applying a structured process to nursing practice challenge. This model involves students in the entire process of developing solution. For initial concept of final implication in nursing education, the CDI model can be used to design and implement patient care plans, enhancing students' practical skills and theoretical understanding. The great teaching model combines multiple disciplines to provide a holistic approach to learning. This method helps students understanding the connection between different areas of studies and developing a comprehensive understanding of nursing practice. For example, students can learn about patient care by integrating knowledge from biology, psychology, and nursing. This approach prepares students for the complexity of modern healthcare by fostering interdisciplinary understanding. Numerous students have shown that these interactions these innovations have a positive impact on learning and autonomous learning ability. In conclusions, enhancing learning and autonomous learning ability in nursing students is crucial for their future success. This review has highlighted the effectiveness of various interventions. By combining these strategies, we can provide comprehensive support for nursing education and better prepare our students for the challenge of modern healthcare. Future research should employ the application of these interventions. In diverse education setting to optimize teaching practice, we need to identify the most effective combinations of strategies and tailor them to the specific needs of nursing students. Additionally, we should focus on preparing nursing students for the challenging modern healthcare by integrating innovation teaching methods and practical applications. This will help to ensure that our students are well prepared for the professional challenges that they will face in their career. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, this was the presentation from Dr. Rion. Any questions regarding this topic? Any questions? If you have any kind of yes, thank you for presenting again once again, and you will be getting the participation certificate within a couple of days, madam. Thank you so much once again. So we asked Dr. Shitong Guha or also Dr. Wanging Zuha. Any of you are presenting ready with your PowerPoint presentation, you can start sharing. Thank you once again.
Good morning, it's Press. I'm Wang Yu, a grad student from the School Nursing and Health.
Madam, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. It's fine.
Good morning, it's Press. I'm Wang Yu, a grad student from the School Nursing and Health. Today I'm going to introduce my topic is construction of knowledge graph for home safe management of inflammatory body cells. Next, I will introduce from the four aspects. The first aspect is research background. Inflammatory bowel disease as a chronic reflex intestinal disease, including ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, is characterized by recurrent episodes, lifelong duration, high disability rate, and high recurrence rate. Currently, there is no specific treatment for IBD, and most IBD patients are difficult to be completely cured and require lifelong medical follow-up and drug or surgical treatment. And its development and pregnancy are closely related to patients' personal lifestyle. However, the related is that self-management of IBD involves many aspects, and the patients receive a variety of fragmented information, making it difficult to systematically grasp the key points of sick management, and the long-term control of the disease is not ideal. Knowledge map can integrate fragmented information in a structured form to form a comprehensive and clear framework, under which patients can understand the various aspects of safe management in a more systemic way. In this study, by constructing a knowledge map for safe management of inflammatory bowel disease and fully integrate various aspects of safe management such as basic knowledge of the disease, symptom monitoring and coping, and safe management strategies, we aim to help patients better master safe management skills in an intuitive way and to enhance their confidence and initiative in safe management. The second part is research objective. Understanding the experience and needs of home safe management among IBD patients provides reference for the construction of a knowledge graph based on evidence-based results of literature related to inflammatory bowel disease. Constructions a knowledge graph. The third aspect is research methods. Firstly, constructing a knowledge base of knowledge graph through later review based on evidence-based research. Second, establish an expert group to define the attribute, relationship, and type of entity. Third, extract knowledge from the content of the knowledge base based on the defined entity type. For knowledge repository is NFG. And this is my study data source. According to the entity type systems, search the following databases, including Guideline website, professional association, electronic database. The search time is from the establishment of the resource library to the 2nd March 2025. This is the construction of the inflammatory bowel disease knowledge group. Construction of the scheme layer of the safe management knowledge graph for inflammatory bowel disease patient. The research team established 18 types, 9-18 relationship, and 20-80 attributes with reference to patient needs integrated from the preliminary literature review and qualitative interview. See tables 1, 2, 3. This is table 1, knowledge graph entity types, including those entity type. This is table 2, knowledge mapping relationship types, including relationship types. This is table 3, knowledge graph attribute types. This is including attribute types. The following is knowledge extraction. Knowledge extraction is the process of extracting important information, such as entity, attribute, and relationship from a large amount of structured and unstructured data. The International Systematic Nomenclature on Medical terminology and the unified medical language system has stronger authority in medical semantic relationship. The personal study draws on Sinometer and UMLS combined with medical theories to construct semantic relationships that meeting the semantic characteristics of inflammatory body cells. The data are standardized by using BIO annotation for entities, relationship, and attributes, and the knowledge tree of entity, relationship, entity, and entity attribute view is established. This is knowledge integration. Knowledge fusion is the process of integration and unify the representation of knowledge from different sources, format, and semantics, which can limit the redundancy and conflict of the knowledge and improve the quality and usability of the knowledge graph. Its meaning includes entity eliminate and entity disaggregation. Knowledge integration, as the treated extract in this paper, is joint accomplished by the research team, and the entire alignment problem has been completed in the data extraction state. And this paper mainly deals with the difference is existing between different medical guidelines by fusing the content of different guidelines to eliminate ambiguities. This is knowledge storage. In this study, no NEFG graph database was used for knowledge storage. The IBD for the management knowledge graph mainly contains key elements such as design entity, simple manifestation, measurement method, and the structured representation and versal display of knowledge is achieved through graph patterns, clusters, and queries. The fourth aspect is the research review. This finally the number of entity constructed in this study is 320, and the number of relationship is 18.5. Total 591 Turner's groups, and the percent of each entity is shown in flag 1. Flag 1 is the pie chart of entity table shares. Best rating the knowledge graph. Entity knowledge in NEFG that matches the storage content can be personal to use in a visual way. Click on the entity node tag displayed in the graph databases to query the knowledge graph content. If you need to further understand a certain aspect of the content, you can check on the corresponding entity, and the content related to entity will automatically appear as shown in Figure 2. This is physical person of the inflammatory body cells segment knowledge graph. The last part is research conclusion. The knowledge graph constructed in this study reveals the complex interactive relationships between self-management elements in IBD. Further research needs to focus on addressing four issues. One, combining the knowledge graph with qualities answer systems to further optimize and dissemination of knowledge. Two, for further research can increase the interaction mechanisms of complex system clusters, such as using causal inference model to map the causal chain of nighttime, design sleep disorder, notice emotion, and generate cross symptom management plans. 3. This study validated the effectiveness of knowledge graph in extracted nursing knowledge, but the negative evidence unique to the nursing field, such as patient qualitative interview record, has not been fully integrated. In the future, knowledge extractive methods combined theory can be explored to transform patient subjective experience into psychosocial support subnetwork in the knowledge graph, further expanding to molecular knowledge stories to enhance the comprehensive and particular of the knowledge graph. Please comment on the expressed. Thank you.
Yes, any questions regarding this topic? Any questions? I think there is no questions, madam. Thank you so much once again for participating in this conference.
Thank you.
Yes, you will be getting the participation certificate within a couple of days. So we ask any of your participants, are you ready with your PowerPoint presentation? You can start sharing. Hello. See, anybody is interested, just you can start presenting.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, madam, you can start sharing. Well,
Please help me play my PPT.
no,
Hi, can you hear me?
yes, it's going to open now.
Okay.
Yes, it's fine. Yes, it's fine.
Was one. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Ruru Guo. I'm doing my master degree at Zhengzhou University and majoring in community and public health nursing. So today I'm presenting the results of our systematic review and meta-analysis on web-based sexual and reproductive health education for early and middle adolescent. In this talk, I will cover the background of the study, what we aim to find out, how we did it, what we discovered, and what this mean moving forward. So adolescents age 10 to 17 go through major physical and psychological changes. It's a crucial time to help them building health view and habits around sex before risky behavior begin. But traditional sex education often runs into issues like cultural taboo and resource limitations. That's why web-based education being flexible, prevent, and accessible has gained attention. The problem is we still don't know exactly how effective these online programs are. That's where our study come in. We wanted to take a closer look at the evidence. We have two main goals in this review. First, we want to see how effective web-based sexual and reproductive health education actually is for adolescents aged 10 to 17.
Second, we want to understand what the factor might influence its effectiveness, like whether the program was zero-based, how it was delivered, and how long participants were followed up. To do this, we searched two major databases, PubMed and Web of Science. Up to October 2023, we include only RCT that tests web-based sexual and reproductive for adolescents. To research independently review and extract all the data to ensure rigor and unbiased results. To assess the quality of the studies, we use the Cochrane risk of bias tool. That we group the outcome into four categories: knowledge, attitude, behaviors, and self-efficacy. This helps us see how programs perform across different aspects. We ended up including 11 studies with a total of 7,876 participants. This study shows that web-based programs have a moderate positive effect on knowledge, with a standard mean difference of 0.59. Behavioral outcome improved too, even not as strongly. SMD was 0.16. There was also a positive effect on self-efficacy, but it wasn't statistically significant. And also we found that the program building on solid theoretical foundation has a stronger effect on knowledge and attitude. Interactive elements like games or real-time feedback help improve behavior. Longer follow-up period helps study retain knowledge, but the effect on behavior tend to fade over time. And finally, studies with higher methodological quality show more reliable results. In conclusion, web-based sexual and reproductive health show promise, especially in improving knowledge and to some extent behavior. However, its effect on attitude is still limited, and improving self-efficacy remain challenging. And for future program, we suggest use a standards math focusing on early adolescence and design content that is engaging and easy to follow. Okay, that's all my content. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, please contact me. Hi.
Yes, any questions regarding this topic? So thank you so much, madam. There is no questions from the audience. If you have any kind of questions regarding this topic, just you can raise your hand or you can send to me. I'll be asking behalf of you even. Thank you so much once again. And you'll be getting the participation certificate within a couple of days after the completion of the Congress. Thank you so much. You can stop sharing. Yes. So if anybody is interested in from this group, you can start sharing your slide.
Hello.
Yes, yes. just you can enlarge the PPT. It's fine, ma'am. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Chang Liu from Zhengzhou University. I'm honored to present my study, Analysis of the Current Situation and Influencing Factors of the Caregiving Burnout Among Family Caregivers of Disabled Elderly. Over the next 20 minutes, I will walk you through my findings and their implications. I will report on the following 5 aspects. First, introduction. The number of disabled elderly continues to grow, and the burden of care is heavy. China's aging population is rapidly growing. By 2050, the number of disabled elderly is projected to reach 96 million, straining families and healthcare systems. Caregiving burnout among family caregivers of the disabled elderly is high, but lack of attention. Most research on caregiver burnout focuses on dementia or cancer patients, neglecting those caring for disabled elderly. Caregiving burnout is a multidimensional syndrome characterized by 3 core components: emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and reduced personal accomplishment. It is commonly manifests across these dimensions, with studies reporting that approximately 25 to 58% of caregivers experience emotional exhaustion. 23 to 31% report symptoms of depersonalization, and 25 to 43% experience a sense of reduced personal accomplishment. This syndrome harms both caregivers' well-being and care quality for the elderly. For caregivers physically, it can cause fatigue, sleep disorders, loss of appetite, weight loss, and stiffness or pain in the shoulders, neck, back, and legs. Mentally, anxiety, depression, fear, a sense of avoidance, and suicidal ideation may occur. For disabled elderly, there can be a decline in the quality of care, low satisfaction with caregiving activities, negligent and poor care for the elderly, and even lead to violent abuse of the elderly. Mentally, emotional needs and are neglected, insecurity and self-esteem are damaged, exacerbating the atmosphere of conflict and tension within the family. The objective: to analyze and explore the status and influencing factors of caregiving burnout among family caregivers of disabled elderly people. This study will provide a referable theoretical basis for assessing and delaying caregiving burnout among family caregivers of disabled elderly people. The next part is methods. This study is a cross-sectional study. A random sampling method was used to select family caregivers of disabled elderly people who met the criteria from December 2024 to May 2025 in a number of communities and community hospitals in Henan province at the study population. A number of 216 participants meeting the criteria were selected. Details are provided in the results section. Inclusion criteria for caregivers were as follows. First, the caregiver had to be at least 18 years old and be a spouse, child, sibling, or other relative. If multiple family members share caregiving responsibilities, the one with the longest daily caregiving hours and the longest duration of care was selected. Second, the caregiver must have provided care for no less than 4 hours per day, at least 5 days per week, and for a minimum of 3 months. Third, participants were required to have normal cognition function, as well as the ability to communicate, understand, and express themselves effectively. Finally, all participants had to give informed consent and participate voluntarily. Caregiver exclusion criteria. First, individuals who were informal caregivers in an employment relationship were excluded. Second, caregivers with a serious physical illness or unstable health conditions were not included. Inclusion criteria for the disabled elderly were as follows. First, participants had to be aged 60 years or older. Second, the level of disability had to be confirmed by a Barthel Index score of less than 100. Third, their cognitive function had to be within an acceptable range, indicated by a score greater than 7 on the Simple Mental Status Questionnaire. Fourth, they needed to be conscious and able to communicate normally. And finally, informed consent and voluntary participation were required. There are 6 tools. First, the General Information Questionnaire containing age, gender, level of education, daily hours of care, duration of care, and so on. Barthel Index Scale, Social Support Scale, Positive Aspects of Caregiver Scale, Family Caregiver Burnout Scale, and the 12-item short-form health survey. Statistical analyses were performed using SPSS 27. All statistical tests were two-sided, and a p-value less than 0.05 was considered statistically significant. Chi-square test, one-way ANOVA, Spearman's correlation analysis were used. Based on the results of the analysis, multiple linear regression analysis was performed to analyze the factors affecting caregiver burnout. The third part is results. First, characteristics of the participants. Please see the table below. Next is ANOVA results. There were 114, about 52.8% caregivers with mild burnout, 74, about 34.3% with moderate burnout, and 28, about 13% with severe burnout. We can see from the ANOVA result that there's a difference between the groups for daily hours of care and duration of care. Here are scores on other measured variables. For the degree of disability of disabled elderly, there are 3 groups. 165 people have mild disability, 37 people have moderate disability, and 14 people have severe disability. The next table is correlation analysis results. We can see social support, positive aspects, and quality of life containing PCS and MCS were inversely associated with caregiving burnout, and the Barthel Index was positively associated with caregiving burnout. Results of multiple linear regression analysis show that daily hours of care, social support, positive aspects, and degree of disability of disabled elderly as influences on caregiving burnout. The next part is discussion. The lower the quality of life of the family caregiver, the higher the level of caregiving burnout. Family caregivers of disabled elderly people often experience a significant lower quality of life due to prolonged physical, emotional, and financial strain. The high intensity and long duration of caregiving, such as assisting with feeding, bathing, mobility, and toileting, leaves little time for rest and personal needs, contributing to emotional exhaustion. Many caregivers report disrupted sleep, social isolation, and reduced work participation. all of which negatively impact their physical and mental well-being. When caregivers lack support systems or access to formal care services, their perceived burden increases, leading to feelings of helplessness and burnout. In particular, caregiving for disabled elders often involves managing chronic conditions and behavioral issues, which can exacerbate stress and reduce the caregiver's sense of personal accomplishment. Thus, poor quality of life become both a consequence and a driver of caregiving burnout in this population. The lower the social support level of family caregivers, the higher the level of caregiving burnout. Family caregivers have to meet the physical and mental care needs of the disabled elderly, as well as bear fixed rehabilitation expenditures, and their physiological and psychological burdens are heavy, while material or spiritual support from family, friends, and other people or organizations can help caregivers alleviate the financial pressure, share the caregiving tasks, provide emotional support, and so on, and help to slow down the occurrence of burnout or alleviate burnout. The higher the level of disability, the higher the level of burnout among family caregivers. When family caregivers face elderly people with high levels of disability, they need to invest more energy and time and take on heavier care tasks, which put them under extreme physical and mental pressure. The higher the degree of disability, the worse the elderly's ability to take care of themselves. And the caregiver not only has to deal with the trivial matters of daily living, but also may face challenge of the elderly's sudden health problems, which puts them in a state of high tension over a long period of time and naturally intensifies the feeling of burnout. The longer the daily hours of care, the higher the level of caregiving burnout among family caregivers. Extended care time often means constant physical labor, emotional involvement, and limited opportunities for rest or social interaction. When caregivers spend more than several hours a day assisting with activities of daily living, the physical strain can lead to fatigue and musculoskeletal issues. Emotional prolonged exposure to caregiving demands may contribute to stress, frustration, and a sense of entrapment, particularly when there is little support or respite available. Studies have shown that caregivers providing care for more than 6 hours daily report significantly higher levels of emotional exhaustion and depersonalization. Family caregivers often juggle caregiving with work, parenting, and household duties. Over time, long daily caregiving hours not only reduce caregivers' personal time, but also compromise their mental and physical health, increasing the risk of burnout. The last part is conclusion. Caregiver burnout is not merely a personal psychological problem, but also highlights weakness in family and social support systems. Long-term high-intensity caregiving leads to physical and emotional exhaustion, affecting both caregiver health and care quality, require multi-level interventions. Based on previous research and the findings of this study, we make several recommendations for families, communities, and governments. At the family level, families should share caregiving responsibilities to avoid overloading one caregiver. Relatives should assist and offer emotional support. Caregivers should be encouraged to take breaks and engage in social or leisure activities to reduce stress. At the community level, Communities should offer more accessible services such as daycare centers, respite care, and home-based volunteer assistance. Caregiver training and support groups can improve caregiving skills and provide emotional support. Community intervention pilots at Fudan University have shown that providing 4 hours of respite services per week can reduce caregivers' mental burden indicators by 32%. At the government level, it is recommended to enhance long-term care systems, expand insurance coverage, providing caregiving subsidies, and promote flexible employment policies. A caregiver health assessment system should be developed for early detection and intervention. China's 14th five-year plan for the development of national elderly and the elderly services system states, improve the policy system for long-term care services and promote home-based care and respite services. Although the results out of this study are similar to previous studies, there are still some limitations. First, the use of a cross-sectional design limits the ability to establish causal relationship among the variables. Future longitudinal studies are recommended to track changes and better understand causal pathways. Second, the sample was drawn from a limited number of communities within a specific region, which may affect generalizability of the findings. Summary: this study identifies key factors contributing to caregiver burnout and proposes a multidimensional framework for response spanning family, community, and policy levels. This study offers a theoretical and practical basis for future interventions and research. Targeted intervention should be provided to family caregivers of disabled elderly according to different categories of influencing factors in order to reduce their level of caregiving burnout. I hope this study provides meaningful insight for improving support for family caregivers. That's all. Thank you for your time.
Any questions to Dr. Chang? Any questions regarding this topic? Yes. Thank you so much, madam, for joining this conference, and you'll be getting the participation certificate within 1 or 2 days. Thank you so much
Okay,
once
thank
again.
you. Thank you.
Yes. Now we request Dr. Suhi Tai Sai from the Department of Nursing, Chongqing Chan Medical University from Taiwan. Yes, madam, go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, you can start sharing your slide. We don't find your slide on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
Wait. Clinical Hello everyone, I am Cai Xueya from the National Zhongshan Medical University Hospital in Taiwan. Today I am honored to share my working with you. The title is Improving the Teaching Skills of Nursing Teachers through a Diabetic Foot Care Workshop. In 2024, Diabetic ranked first among the top 10 causes of death in Taiwan, accounting for 10,663 deaths. Clinical teacher training course. First, conduct clinical teacher training course, diabetic foot care. 1. Balanced diet. 2. Healthy exercise. 3. Appropriate medication use. 4. Blood sugar monitoring. 5. Problem solving. 6. Risk reduction. 7. Health adjustment. This is the professional slide for this day course.
Excuse me.
Both sports. The other one is the reaction exercise, which also has a video link so these students can watch. Next, we have a hand-on nursing session in group. Group A, randomizing solution for diabetic foot. Focus on selecting tracings for diabetic foot wound. The other group is about assessment of diabetic foot. The second method is a tuning fork. The patient is asked to close their eyes, and the fork is struck. The fork is then placed on the patient's foot to test whether the patient can fall the derivation of the sound wave, and how long it takes for the vibration of the tuning fork to. The third type is the percussion hammer. Ask the patient to relax and use the percussion hammer to assess the ankle reflex, which help to detect the degree of neuropathy and let's assess the risk of diabetic foot ulcers. These are photos of the experience the day. We are also preparing for the next course using an open-ended questionnaire to ask participants about their interests. These include types like diabetic foot treatment and psychological assessment for diabetes, cross-disciplinary wound care, and continuous integration of this inclusion. We know that inclusion. Okay, thank you.
Any questions regarding this topic? Any questions? Any questions regarding this topic? Just you can raise your hand. We'll be asking behalf of you. This is the presentation of the talk. Yes. So next, thank you so much, Dr. Yao Tosai. So you'll be getting the participation certificate within a couple of days. Thank you so much. Hello.
I'm beginning.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Guo Shitong. It's a pleasure to present my research analysis of the current situation and influencing factors of the thriving in life of the elderly in the community, a cross-sectional study. The contents of my presentation include 5 parts: research background, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion. First, the background. In China, the seventh population census conducted by the China National Bureau of Statistics in 2020 revealed important statistics. It showed that the number of individuals aged 60 and older reached 264 million, accounting for 18.7% of the total population. Additionally, the number of individuals aged 65 and older reached 191 million, accounting for 30.5% of the total population. China's aging population is particularly characterized by a super-scale, ultra-fast speed, ultra-early stage, and ultra-stable structure. As a result, governments at all levels face increasingly significant challenges. Proactively addressing population aging has been elevated to a nation's strategic priority. The focus of China's response now extends beyond safeguarding older adults' physical health to holistically nurturing their psychological well-being. What is thriving in life? It refers to elderly individuals' intentional activities of actively maintaining life continuation and meaning in daily living. It is a psychological growth state coexisting in both emotional and cognitive aspects during the pursuit of health and well-being, encompassing 5 dimensions: learning adaptation, life willpower, life vitality, optimistic attitude, and harmonious relationships. Importantly, it has been identified as a key index for assessing the psychological growth of older adults. Thriving in Life offers a novel theoretical lens for active aging. The National Policy Framework on Active Response to Population Aging explicitly recognize health, participation, and security as fundamental needs and the inalienable rights of older adults. Cultivating a sense of thriving in life is critical for enhancing elderly societal engagement and meaningful communicator reintegration. Empirically, it is linked to key positive outcomes like subjective well-being, reduced depression, and improved quality of life. Enhancing older adults' thriving in life is necessary for several reasons. It can spread among people. Strong thriving in life strengthens their positive cognition, emotions, and habits. Those with strong thriving in life also have higher psychological well-being. Conversely, low levels negatively impact their physical and mental health across psychological, physiological, and social functioning dimensions. Notably, influenced by traditional Chinese culture, Chinese older adults prefer community-based home care. However, existing research on their thriving in life mainly focuses on those in nursing homes, with little coverage of community dwelling elderly. Research on thriving among older adults is concerned primarily in Western countries, with relatively limited studies conducted in China. Thus, this study aims to explore the level of thriving in life among community dwelling elderly and analyze its influencing factors to provide a basis for related research. Now let's move on to the research methods. The study design, a cross-sectional multi-community study, was conducted in 6 communities in Henan Province between April and May 2025. The convener sampling method was used to select community-dwelling older adults as a target population. All participants who met the inclusion criteria were asked to sign the informed consent. The inclusion criteria for older adults: age greater than or equal to 60 years, informed consent and voluntary participation, conscious and able to complete the survey independently or with assistance, and the community permanent residents. The exclusion criteria: being in critical or terminal stage of a disease, unable to take care of themselves. The research tools used in this study include 5 skills: general information questionnaire, measurement tool of thriving in life, basic psychological needs scale, perceived social support scale, and the index of well-being scale. For data collection, the study obtained approval from the relevant medical ethics committee and consent from the communities. An investigator team was established, and the psychological and gerontological research experts provided uniform training to team members. Uniformly trained researchers went to relevant communities to have included research subjects, signed informed consent forms, and conducted one-on-one questionnaire surveys. During the survey, researchers were required to use uniformly trained language to first explain the survey purpose and questionnaire completion methods to participants. Invalid questionnaires were discarded after collection. For statistical analysis, we used SPSS 26. All tests were two-sided, with p less than 0.05 considered statistically significant. We applied G-square test one way ANOVA and Spearman's correlation analysis. Based on these results, multiple linear regression analysis was used to identify influencing factors of thriving in life. Now the research results. A total of 219 questionnaires were sent out, and 276 valid ones were collected, with an effective recovery rate of 95.17%. The total score of thriving in life was 65.08 plus or minus 11.12, with an average item score of 3.10 plus or minus 0.53, placing it above the middle level. Table 1 shows the demographic data of the community elderly. Single-factor analysis results show that gender, age, education level, marital status, per capita monthly household income, living condition, self-perceived health status, number of chronic disease, participation in social activities, and exercise status influence thriving in life among community dividing elderly, without difference being statistically significant. Correlation analysis results between thriving in life and other variables among community dividing elderly show that the total score of thriving in life was positively correlated with perceived social support, basic psychological needs, and the well-being index. The thriving in life score of community dividing elderly was a dependent variable. Independent variables were selected based on statistically significant difference found in both uniformity and correlation analysis. Multiple linear regression analysis was subsequently conducted. The results show that age, self-rate health status, per capita monthly household income, social activity participation, perceived social support, basic psychological needs, and well-being index were independent influencing factors of the thriving in life among community dividing elderly. Let's proceed to the research discussion. First, health status positively correlated with thriving in life among community dividing older adults. Good health reduces illness burdens enabling fair daily and social participation and preserving independence and dignity. It is also associated with higher energy and positive emotions, increasing the willingness to explore and learn. On the contrary, chronic disease and functional decline cause physical and emotional strain, lowering self-efficacy and restricting activities. Therefore, promoting health, aging, and strengthening disease prevention, management, and rehabilitation supports are core pathways to enhancing thriving in life for community dwelling older adults. Second, regular exercise associated with health thriving in life among community dwelling older adults. Exercise shares physiological benefits such as improved cardiopulmonary function, strength, and flexibility, boosting overall health and energy. It also provides psychological benefits, including stress relief via endorphins, mood environment, and enhanced confidence. Additionally, group exercise activities offer social interaction, fulfilling belonging needs, creating convenient, safe, and diverse exercise environments at the community level, and encouraging and guiding community dwelling older adults to develop regular exercise habits are practical and effective intervention measures to enhance their thriving in life. Third, higher perceived social supports associated with higher thriving in life among community dwelling older adults. Support buffers the impacts of stress, such as illness and loss, enhancing resilience and confidence. Strong social networks provide information and resource, stimulating life engagement, building and strengthening a multi-level social support network based on the family, supported by the community, and involving social force, and striving to enhance community dwelling older adults' perception and utilization of this support is an indispensable social environmental factor in nurturing their thriving in life. Fourth, higher basic psychological needs satisfaction associated with higher thriving in life among community dwelling older adults. Autonomy, which refers to life control and choice, grants dignity. Competence, which is the ability to copy and master skills, maintains confidence. Relatedness, which means connection and acceptance, provides emotion support. Meeting these needs motivates active life engagement, creating environments that support autonomous decision-making for community dwelling older adults, provide opportunity to contribute and continue learning to satisfy competence, and foster inclusive and caring community atmosphere to satisfy relatedness is of great significance for stimulating their deep-seated thriving in life. Fifth, higher well-being associates with health thriving in life among community dwelling older adults. Greater well-being indicates stronger resilience, fostering optimism about aging and willingness to engage in life, which nourish thriving. Measures to enhance the well-being of community dwelling older adults, such as improving living environments, promoting physical and mental health, enriching spiritual and cultural life, and cultivating a positive mindset will all directly and powerfully promote the enhancement of their thriving in life. Let's proceed to the research conclusion. The thriving in life score was above the middle level. Multidimensional intervention measures need to be taken to solve problems in aspects such as physiology, psychology, social support, and economy, so as to enhance the thriving in life of the elderly. There are limitations to this study. The convenient sampling from 6 communities in Henan limits generalizability to broader elderly population. Questionnaire data may be influenced by social desirability or subjective interpretation. Future research should integrate mixed methods, combining quantitative measures with in-depth interviews to explore cultural and contextual drivers of thriving. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, this was the presentation from Dr. Xun Tong. Any questions regarding this topic? Any questions regarding this topic? Thank you so much, madam, for joining this conference, and you'll be getting the participation certificate within a couple of days. And hope we expect your presence for next year in face-to-face meeting. Thank you once again. Now, request the other participants to start presenting. Now, I request Dr.
Hello everyone,
Yi
my
Ching
name
Tung.
is Yichen
Yes.
Huang. I am honored to share our instructional design project on developing an interactive ebook course based on the Assure model to enhance nurses' competency in troubleshoot CRRT machine alarms. This project integrates nursing education, information technology, and clinical practice, aiming to bring innovative approaches to nursing education. First, I would like to introduce myself. I am a registered nurse with lecturer qualifications certified by Taiwan's Ministry of Education. I currently serve as the nursing supervisor at the Department of Nursing, Zhonghua Christian Hospital in Taiwan, where I also hold the position of chairman of the Information Committee. And I am currently pursuing my doctoral degree in the Department of Nursing at Hongkwang University. I have been serving Zhonghua Christian Hospital for 10 to 5 years. Zhonghua Christian Hospital is located in central Taiwan and is the oldest medical center in the region. There are 8 affiliated hospitals under the system, with a complete medical network to provide patient-centered and high-quality medical services. Simultaneously, I am studying at Hongkwang University of Science and Technology. It is recognized by the Ministry of Education as the only model institution among technological universities in central Taiwan. With core values of people-oriented care and respect for life, nurturing nursing professionals with strong clinical competence, reflective thinking, and global vision. Today's presentation will cover 5 main sections. First, I will explain the inspiration and rationale behind our project, helping you understand why we need such innovative teaching methods. Next, I will outline our teaching objectives and core competencies, clearly defining the learning outcomes we aim to achieve. The third section will detail our instructional strategies, activity design, and implementation procedures. Then, I will share the assessment results and feedback on instructional effectiveness. Finally, I will discuss the promotion and application of these teaching strategies. Let me begin by explaining the background of our project. Continuous renal replacement therapy is a highly complex, professional, and 24-hour continuous treatment. ICU nurses play a crucial role in this process, as they must monitor equipment and perform initial troubleshooting during critical events. Studies have shown that more than half of the incident reports related to CRRT were linked to insufficient nursing education, such as the inability to troubleshoot machine alarms. This highlights the critical importance of enhancing nurse education and training in CRRT operation and management. Currently, CRRT education is divided into two parts. The first is machine operation skills, taught by vendors and clinical nurses focusing on circuit setup. The second is alarm troubleshooting, conducted by clinical nurses in classroom settings. Since alarm events often occur suddenly and require immediate handling, it is essential to strengthen nurses' competencies in this area. In 2021 and 2022, two critical incidents occurred due to improper handling of machine alarms by nursing staff. This revealed a gap in existing training, which emphasizes basic operation but lacks sufficient focus on emergency troubleshooting. As frontline caregivers, ICU nurses must be equipped with fundamental competencies to handle abnormal alarms effectively. However, we found that current CRRT training primarily focuses on equipment operational skills, with relatively insufficient training for handling abnormal alarm events. This observation inspired us to develop more effective teaching methods. Based on our analysis, we established 3 core competency objectives. First, fundamental clinical nursing skills. Learners should be able to demonstrate fundamental medical and nursing skills and possess the capability to provide clinical care. Second, professional growth and care quality. Learners should be able to pursue self-improvement and professional development to enhance the quality of nursing care. Third, clinical judgment and problem solving. Learners should be able to make accurate judgments and apply creative thinking to effectively solve problems. These core competencies not only meet the basic requirements of nursing education but also respond to the demand for high-quality care in modern nursing practice. To achieve these teaching objectives, we adopted the Assure instructional design model. The Assure model serves as a robust framework to guide educators and instructional designers in the development of effective training and educational materials. It consists of 6 key steps: analyze learners, state objectives, select methods, media, and materials, utilize media and materials, require learner participation, and evaluate and revise. The first step in the Assure model is understanding your learners. Our target learners are ICU nurses with over 1 year of experience who are responsible for operating CRRT machines. Once you understand your learners, the next step is to clearly define the learning objectives. Our goal is that learners will understand common causes of CRRT alarms and be able to follow standard procedures to address and resolve them. Then, you select the methods and media that will best facilitate the learning process. We developed an interactive ebook based on hospital standard operating procedures and concept mapping. Next step is utilizing materials involves gathering and preparing the necessary resources for your lesson. The ebook is installed on designated desktop units with setup instructions and usage guidelines. Additionally, active participation from learners is crucial for engagement and knowledge retention. This component of the Assure model stresses the importance of creating opportunities for students to actively engage with the content. Therefore, dedicated laptops are provided to ICU nurses for interactive self-study. Evaluation is the final step in the Assure model, and it serves 2 purposes: assessing student progress and evaluating the effectiveness of your instructional strategies. We evaluate instructional effectiveness through pre- and post-tests and satisfaction surveys. Our instructional implementation consisted of 3 phases. In the preparation phase, we developed a lesson plan for the 4 CRRT machine warning indicators, including blood leak, air detection, and fluid pressure abnormalities. The course combines assessments, interactive teaching methods, and a complete course review. During the training phase, we implemented interactive ebook teaching focusing on CRRT machine alarm operation for medical and surgical ICU nursing staff with more than 1 year of experience. In the evaluation phase, we conducted pre- and post-test knowledge assessments, satisfaction surveys, and feedback collection. This process ensured the systematic nature of the teaching content and the measurability of learning outcomes. The course content design is based on concept mapping methodology. Concept mapping helps us systematically present complex CRRT alarm handling procedures, enabling learners to better understand the relationships between different alarm types and the processing logic. The design of teaching materials emphasizes interactivity and practicality. Our developed ebook includes basic alarm handling procedures, alarm type classifications, and corresponding troubleshooting actions. Knowledge quizzes are embedded in each content section, allowing learners to immediately test their understanding. This design not only improves learning efficiency but also ensures practical application capabilities of the knowledge. Let's take a look at the interactive ebook we designed and developed. Welcome to experience this interactive ebook designed by the ICU nursing team of Zhanghua Christian Hospital specifically for learning CRRT alarm troubleshooting. At the beginning, you will see a pre-test hyperlink, using Microsoft Forms as the tool to test the basic knowledge of CRRT alarms, helping to understand the starting point of the students and prepare for subsequent learning. The course is divided into 3 parts: basic process of alarm processing, alarm types and handling, and unit review. The basic process of alarm processing uses an interactive process of dragging and dropping text to fill in the blanks. The correct elimination steps are dragged and dropped into the corresponding blanks to deepen the memory of the process. Use scrolling text descriptions for the process. Swipe or click the arrow to browse the text. The types of alarms begin with simple true or false quizzes to help with quick understanding. The processing methods of different alarms are embedded in practical operation videos to make abstract situations concrete and the learning effect more three-dimensional and realistic. It empowers readers to learn on their own, watch it over and over again, or easily skip to any part they need. It offers maximum flexibility. Covering a complex topic becomes much easier with videos due to their engaging nature. Its ability to offer a multi-layered experience. Finally, integrate course content and use interactive elements to increase the fun of reading. Adopt interactive concept maps to present various CRRT alarm classifications, paired with a scratch-off feature that unfolds with a single click, allowing you to explore knowledge like unlocking a map. Also use the Connect the Dots interactive element, drag lines to connect the left and right columns, and the system immediately provides feedback on whether it's correct, just like playing a game, learning as you go. After completing the study, click on the hyperlink to enter the post-test to review the students' learning outcomes. Provide satisfaction feedback and suggestions on teaching materials simultaneously to assist in the continuous optimization of teaching material design. Thank you for watching. Let us use technology to open up new horizons in learning. During implementation, we particularly emphasized learners' engagement in self-directed learning. The entire learning process was divided into 3 phases. During preparation phase, we set up equipment and introduced the course structure and procedures, ensuring learners understood how to use this new learning tool. Now let's examine the assessment results of our instructional effectiveness. We utilize Microsoft Forms for pre- and post-class effectiveness evaluation. The results show that the overall pre-test score of 65.3 increased to 83 after interactive ebook instruction. This demonstrates significantly that our teaching method is indeed effective. Regarding instructional satisfaction, we used a 5-point scale for assessment, and the results showed an average satisfaction rating of 4.67, indicating that nurses gave high approval to this new teaching method. Participant feedback was also very positive, with nurses reporting that the interactive ebook not only increased their learning interest but also enhanced their confidence in practical operations. Based on the positive instructional effectiveness, we began promoting this teaching strategy. Thank you for your patient attention to my presentation. This project demonstrates how to effectively enhance nurses' competency in operating complex medical equipment by utilizing the Assure model and interactive ebook technology.
Yes, this was a presentation. Yes, any questions regarding this topic? Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, madam. It was a nice presentation, and the video you showed in the hospital was very fantastic. The video you showed in the video in the hospital, it was very fantastic. Thank you once again. We'll be asking any of the participants are ready with your PowerPoint presenting. You can start sharing from now. Any other speaker? Yeah, is okay, madam. It's fine. You can go ahead.
So can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Zhao Wanying. I come from Zhengzhou University. Today, the topic I'm going to share is the ethical perspective on family resilience experience among elderly personal dialysis, a qualitative study. I will introduce it from 5 aspects. Part 1, research background and objectives. Elderly personal dialysis patients as a special group, their treatment process is not only a challenge for the patient themselves, but also bring enormous pressure to family care. What's more, families plays a role in patients' treatment, and family resilience is crucial for maintaining patients' quality of life and family function. So, studying family resilience from a ethical perspective can provide a more comprehensive understanding of the dynamic process of families coping with disease. This study mainly includes 2 research objectives. One is exploring the experience of family resilience. Another is identifying protective and hindering factors. Part 2, research methods. Firstly, for the formulation of the interview outline, we mainly based on the guidelines of WORS. Meanwhile, focus on the dedicated adaptation process to ensure comprehensive collection of relevant experience of patients and caregivers. The following is the interview outline we developed for the patients and caregivers. Through the application of criteria, 22 patient caregiver deaths were ultimately enrolled as study participants. These are the inclusion and exclusion criteria for patients and caregivers. Data analysis method. We primarily utilize the case 7-step analysis method. Part 3, research results. The finding includes the first, the double impact of shared belief. The second, role and environment adjustment effects and pressure from social support. The third, impact of emotions and communication on family relationships. The fourth, key factors and hindering factors. Next, I will briefly introduce each section. Pure impact include positive aspect and negative aspect. Shared beliefs offset medical uncertainty and help families cope with unknowns brought by the disease together. Shared beliefs trigger anxiety in caregivers. True flexibility and family environment adjustment maintain family functions, enabling families to operate normally under the impact of the disease. There are deficiencies in social support, which increase the pressure on families. Emotional bonds enhance family resilience and provide motivation for families to cope with difficulties. Poor communication leads to tension in family relationships and weakens family relations. Key factors, trust in clinicians and peer support are crucial, providing external assistance to families. Hindering factors, police gaps and care issues hinder the improvement of relations. Part 4, research conclusions and implications. The two main complications of this study are as follows. Family relations involves dynamic interactions between deaths and ecosystems. Coordination of cognition, emotion, and action is required to better exert family relations. The implications of this research include 3 aspects. Intervention measures should focus on family empowerment to enhance families' own coping abilities, ensure medical continuity, provide stable treatment support for patients, build peer networks to promote communication and mutual assistance between patients and givers so as to improve patients' quality of life. Part 5, summary. The study achieved 3 primary objectives. through the analysis of interviews with 22 patient caregiver pairs, this study reveals various aspects of family resilience in elderly peritoneal dialysis patients. It clarifies protective and hindering factors, providing a basis for the formulation of subsequent relevant measures. Future research can be further expanded to more comprehensive understand the dynamic changes of family resilience and provide more powerful support for improving the quality of life of patients and their families. My presentation is over. Thank you for attention.
Yes. Any questions regarding this topic? Any questions? Thank you so much, Dr. Zua, and you'll be getting the participation certificate within 1 or 2 days, along with an electronic booklet, CPD points, as well as participation certificate for the soft copy. Thank you so much once again. So, if any of us speakers from this group are interested, you can start sharing your slide. So we are having 6 more talks.
Voilà. Đây.
Yes, I'm giving the lecture on behalf of Dr. Makiko Yamato. Literature review on infection control education using virtual reality. Background. In recent years, infection control education use of virtual reality has been granted attention as a useful tool for promoting infection prevention measures. However, the effective methods and outcomes of VR bad infection control education remains unclear. Objective. This study aims to organize the methods and the effects of infection control education utilizing VR and to resolve insight for the development of educational programs that promote infection prevention behavior. If you go to methods, literature search was conducted using PubMed, Web, CINE with keywords VR, infection control, and the education. Articles that did not focus on the infection control education using VR were excluded. The selected articles were analyzed based on the author, publication year, region, participations, objectives, research methods, and the results. If you go to the results, a total of 115 articles were identified, of which 11 met the inclusion criteria, 9 in English, and the 2 in Japanese. Two studies targeted the healthcare professionals, physicians and nurses. On targeted physicians and the students, and 8 targeted students. The content of VR interventions included activities such as visualizing hand hygiene practices and contamination scenarios, tackling various infection control scenario in virtual environments, and integrating VR experiences into programs with preparatory tasks or simultaneation exercises. Reported effects included enhanced knowledge of infection control, improved skills in donning and doffing personal protective equipment, and increased awareness of infection control among students. For healthcare professionals, the studies highlighted the recall of appropriate hand hygiene timing and changes in hand hygiene practices as outcome of VR-based education. The table, results of literature on infection control education using VR. Item, contents, search results. 11 out of 115 met the criteria, 9 in English, and the 2 are in Japanese. If you go to participants in the literature, medical professionals, doctors and nurses, 2 doctors plus students 1 and 8 students. If you go to VR intervention content, visualizing of hand hygiene and contamination, response to various infection control scenarios, VR experience combined with pre-tasks and simultaneous. If you go to the VR reported effects, improvement in the infection control knowledges, improvement in the PPE domain, donning and doffing skills, enhanced infection control awareness among students, appropriate hand hygiene timing among the healthcare professionals, changes in hand hygiene behavior. So if you go to the discussion, VR-based infection control education has been reported to effective promote knowledge, skills, and attitudes towards infection control. However, most studies focused on students with limited applications in the clinical settings. Given the potential of VR integrated education to promote, motivate infection prevention, further investigation is needed to evaluate its impact on infection prevention behavior in clinical environments. So this is the presentation from Dr. Makiko Yamata from the Kumato University Faculty of Life Science. So if you go to the presentation of Dr. Marguerite Lawrence, the title of the talk will be the Bridging Minds, Announcing Asclepius Family Nurse Practices Educators through Entrepreneurial Entrepreneurial Collaboration. The introduction will be the study examined the learning outcomes of an on-campus residency, noting the various instructions from the physician assistant and nurse practitioners programs as well. Male urogenital teaching associates and the gynecological teaching associates teaching in a gratitude nurse level practice program. If you go to the background, professional organizers across the nation, the globe emphasize the significance of interpreting educationals in preparing studies for effective collaborative practices. When two or more professionals learning about with each other, the Institute of Medicine Entrepreneurial Learning Continuous Model underscores the necessary for IPE to commence touring foundation, undergraduate educational and intensify during graduate education. The health professionals accredited collaborative HPAC are advocating for the IPE in curriculum for foster students' mastery of interprofessional core competences. Moreover, with the increasing prevalence of online graduates program and the shift to online delivery, it is crucial to identify methods to ensure that all the students have access to IP opportunities regardless of the program delivered modes. As I noticed above, the shifted from the traditional family nurse practitioners, nurse educators to online and isochronous learning has been driven by several factors, mostly probable by COVID-19 pandemic, which necessitates rapid adapted as the potential to overcome the geographical and grammatical barriers such as scheduling conflicts by bringing studies together for collaborative learning activities. To mitigate the issues of decreased opportunities of the IP in the synchronous platform, many graduate nursing programs has adopted blended the approaches, incorporating both synchronous required on a campus residency days and the asynchronous elements to enhance the interaction and provide real-time feedback while maintaining the flexibility that asynchronous learning affairs. If you go to the methods and the results, two cohorts, first semester around 10 members, the final semesters and 20 members of FNP students at a small private university in the northern eastern United States were assisted following a 192-day on-ground residency. 8 quantitative questions using a 5-point Likert scale and 2 qualitative questions were used to assess the students' response to the questions regarding the instructions. With the peers, descriptive statistics were used with a Fisher's exact test. "100% of students noted meeting at the learning objective of suture skills presented and of the EKG review courses by physician assistant. 100% responded meeting the learning objective by the MUTA and GTA instructors. And overall response of 75% and 90% noted meeting learning objectives from the NP instructors. Greater than 90% of the students noted meeting the learning outcome of the chest X-ray and their radiology review instructed by the FNP. Qualitative themes were noted as skill learned from the GU and GUI SPS were very powerful. Conclusion. Healthcare has transited to a collaborative models. Healthcare Healthcare has transited to a collaborative model offering interprofessional education for graduate students in a crucial to prepare them for real world experiences and enhance their collaborative skills. To ensure that all students have access to IP, faculty can consider requiring on campus component. Those who enrolled in the online participants in our study indicated that the residency IP made the learning program and possibility depend upon the collaborative and providing quality and healthcare. Implications for the practice. Incorporating IPE into the FNP circulating fosters the development of essential collaborative skills. FNP trained in an essential environment learn to communicate effective response different professional practice, which is providing a comparative IPA. So this is the presentation. Interprofessional collaboration in education encourages the use of research and the evidence based on practice. FNP students learn to utilize the latest evidence and collaborative on a research projects, contribution to the evidence of nurse practices and healthcare as a whole. This is the reference given. This is the Sacred Heart University College of Nursing. If you have any kind of questions or queries regarding this topic, we'll be mentioning the Dr. Margaret Lawrence email ID. You can text her. Thank you.
evaluate and revise. Applying the Assure model CRRT training for ICU nurse 1 and our nurses are actually over 30 years. Yeah.
Yes, continue. Yes, you can proceed.
Procedures to show the 3 plate answer media and material were developed and the vector and paper making.
Yes, please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead. Instructional activities and procedures.
In the preparation phases, we are divided a structure lesson plan forecast for actually Statement and application both believe. In the training process, we are using IT material to engage ICU nurses that overwhelmed.
Yes, next slide.
To better understand the relationship between different alarm type and percentage certificate. Right now, all the application you have a potentially of the country. Most are declared. Well, that's the experience. They look at it. I'm just
helping to understand the starting point of the students and prepare for subsequent learning. The course is divided into parts. It's a process of a lot of process. Videos due to their engaging nature. Its ability to offer a motivated experience. Laptop features of unquote filtering allows turn out Click on the icon. The entire learning process was divided into three phases. Duties of the issue phases for the class. Yeah, troubleshooting. 你只要特求二的东西，没有 OCR is trustship, but it can also be intended to education training for other companies.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for presenting. And thank you for attending all the participants. Thank you so much. On behalf of the entire organizing committee, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you all the closing ceremony of the 15th Global Summit on Nursing Education and Healthcare held on August 4, 5, 6, 2025 in Tokyo, Japan. Over the past 2 days, we have come together as a community of professionals, researchers, and educators and enthusiasts to exchange knowledge, share experiences, and explore new perspectives in the field of nursing and healthcare. We're proud of quality of discourse and the level of collaboration witnessed throughout this conference. We would also like to inform all participants conference photos and will be sent you within couple of days. And if you have and passports, your conference certificates will be sent you within couple of days. If you have any queries, please send a mail or WhatsApp to my organization email. And our next upcoming conferences, 17th Global Summit on Nursing Education and Healthcare in this year, November 10 and 11, 2025, Hotel Alimera, Barcelona, Spain. And next and other 2026 conference in 19th Global Congress on Nursing Education and Healthcare, April 13 to 15, 2026, holiday in Atrium, Singapore. So we warmly invite you to attend and contribute once again. As we draw the curtain on this incredible journey, let us take with us knowledge we have gained, the connections we have built, and the inspiration to drive progress in our respective fields. I was expecting the next upcoming conferences in Singapore. I hope all the people physically together in Singapore, and I was expecting more people from this conference. And please support us. If you have any queries, please send a mail or WhatsApp. With that, I officially declare that conference Nursing Education and Healthcare 2025 was closed. Thank you. We will send you the participation certificates and CPD points within a couple of days in our mail and WhatsApp. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Hello.